Welcome back to another My Hero Academia Vigilantes Season 2 breakdown, this time going over episode 12 titled This is a Hero. Of course, we're going to be breaking down the episode, going over all the hidden Easter eggs and references, as well as the entire season, so be sure to Detroit, smash that like button, and subscribe to the Kiroki channel so that you won't miss any My Hero Academia Vigilantes breakdowns. Now, the episode begins 2 minutes before the big explosion the last episode ended on. As we see at Might Tower during a meeting, Yagi gets a call and leaves the room to answer. Tsukuchi tells All Might about the Sky Egg, but right as he says it, the big explosion happens and the Sky Egg begins to collapse with everyone inside it. Number 6 notes how they were all doomed from the beginning and their only way to be saved is if a god came to help them. Tsukuchi yells for his sister as All Might is still trying to understand what exactly is going on. We get a flashback to when his family had first discovered what Makoto's quirk was, and we see just how much Tsukuchi loves his little sister, as he would lie and have her quirk reveal how he really felt, revealing that his love is what made her so self-confident. He thinks about all of the good times he's had with his sister and tears up as he knows he shouldn't be asking All Might to do this, but begs All Might to save his sister. All Might locks in, telling Tsukuchi that he can't say that he's on the way, because at a time like this, there is only one thing for him to say, and that's I am here. We see All Might have this Superman-like transformation in midair, ditching his clothes, turning into All Might, and almost instantly makes it to the Sky Egg within the matter of seconds. As he arrives, he no joke punches the Sky Egg into the sky, clears the ground of rubble by taking down the crumbling tower, saves a bunch of animals, and somehow jumps in the sky once more to catch the Sky Egg and lands it safely on the ground. Goat Might is here. Now, this was an incredible feat by All Might, but most importantly, this entire scene does feed into the narrative that the world heavily relies on All Might. The Sky Egg had contained some of the world's finest heroes from Japan and the US, and yet all of them together weren't enough to stop this threat. Aizawa was the first person to point this out in the manga, since that portion of the chapter didn't get adapted in the episode, and how they were going to need All Might, and this is why number 6 mentioned a god would only be able to save them all, and All Might is the only one to show up in the end, because he is this god-like figure, not only to the people, but amongst heroes as well. All Might saves Chris and Koichi, grabbing them in the air as Koichi is completely starstruck at the sight of his all-time favorite hero. All Might tells Cap that he did a great job, and even asks Koichi who he is, but Koichi just says that he's a big fan, and asks for an autograph. All Might signs Koichi's Sky Egg hoodie, making him the happiest little fanboy, just like Deku when he first met All Might in the original series, and this completely humbles Chris. The news tries to get a comment from All Might, but he just wants everyone to show their support for those helping out the heroes, and leaves the scene. Still in his All Might costume, but in skinny form, and he gets some Cap merch to wear over his costume. Tsukuchi apologizes for losing his cool, but All Might tells him that the passion in his voice is what got him here so quickly. There's a psychological component to All Might's strength, and when he hears a rescue request from his own ears, that feels like a direct order to All Might himself. He accepted his power in order to give people hope, the hope that their cries will surely reach All Might, which for All Might this means that every call for help is personal for him, despite Tsukuchi having told him that a public figure like All Might should never take on personal calls for help because of the possible dangers that it could bring. Tsukuchi is a little confused on what All Might meant by him accepting his power, which we know that All Might was originally quirkless and had became the 8th user of One For All thanks to Nana Shimura giving him the quirk. All All Might thinks to himself that one day he will explain everything to Tsukuuchi about the secret behind All Might. Unfortunately, right here, the anime doesn't adapt the moment that Aizawa and All Might meet for the first time. Number 6, having seen his plans fail at the hands of All Might, is pissed and activates the bombers again, this time making the remains of the bombers regenerate, fuse together, and grow into one big cluster bomber. 200 mini bombers fly out of its stomach, and Number 6 bets that even All Might can't handle them all. The heroes all feel like it's over, but in an instant, All Might transforms, ripping through the CC merch, and hits all of the bombers with a Nebraska smash, creating a tornado, sucking in and triggering every mini bomber with just one punch. Number 6 laughs, not being able to believe that someone like All Might even exists, and All For One through an earpiece tells him that the cold hard truth is that All Might does exist. All Might is a true superhuman who's in another league compared to the rest of the other heroes, a deus ex machina who seems to defy the laws of physics and fate at every turn. All Might is the pinnacle of what they hope to achieve, revealing that their plan this entire time is to reach All Might levels of power through their bioengineering, which we know they end up succeeding in during the mainline series. Personally, Number 6 never wanted to be like All Might and decides to call it a day since the bombers are all gone. And nearby, Knuckleduster watches Number 6 through a sniper scope. Knuckle figured Number 6 would use the Sky Egg event as a testing ground since there was going to be plenty of heroes at one location. Knowing the villain would want a good view of the chaos, Knuckle found a rooftop of his own to wait for Number 6 and go for the kill. Knuckle goes for a headshot, but something flies past the scope, causing him to miss the shot, hitting Number 6 in the shoulder. Number 6 uses his acceleration, making his way to Knuckle's rooftop, speeding through a bird in the process. Knuckle analyzes Number 6, noting that his body must have been bioengineered, and Number 6 says that it's true, on top of revealing to Knuckle the truth behind his acceleration quirk being overclocks, and that he's been dying to meet his master for a while. Knuckle doesn't know a thing about the villain besides the fact that he got his hands on a quirk that was stolen from him years ago and wants to know his name. Honored, the villain reveals that he is a nobody, just a weird creature with no form, and is called Number 6 by others. Knowing that his name is just a number, he hopes to become the next overclock, as that's the only name for him. He doesn't want to be like All Might because in a way All Might is limited. He swoops in to beat up villains or save the day when disaster strikes, playing cleanup after the troubles already arrived. All Might is no different than a plumber to Number 6. Knuckleduster notes that's exactly what makes All Might the number 1 hero. Humanity is lucky that he doesn't run around acting out of self-interest, because the day he turns around and starts using his might for himself, the world is doomed, showing us this awesome what if of All Might being a villain. Number 6 believes All Might has too much power and is either going to save the world or destroy it, and views it as it all being pointless if All Might can't use that power however he wants, because Number 6 is all about living free and doing exactly what he wants. That's why he wants to be overclock. His quirk lets him make the first move no matter who he's up against, allowing him to beat anyone however he chooses. That's what overclock represents, and that is a real hero. Knuckle knows, despite formerly being overclock himself, that that isn't what a hero is. Number 6 is overclock's biggest fan, knowing everything about him and wanting to be just like his hero. The day he saw Knuckles' career fall apart, he scarred himself across the face and claimed that he's next, and now it's his turn. And now all he needs is for Knuckle to acknowledge him as his successor, so he can officially become overclock 2 or 2 o'clock, which I'm not gonna lie, 2 o'clock is low-key a banger. Now, the scene of Number 6 watching the broadcast is meant to be a dark parallel of All Might's Your Next statement at the end of his second battle against All For One in Kamino, acknowledging that Deku is now the true successor to him and one for all, leaving it all up to Deku. On top of that, it's clear clear that number 6's obsession with overclock is inspired by Eobard Thawne, aka the Reverse Flash from the DC Universe, who was obsessed with the Flash, becoming a speedster himself, wanting to be like the Flash until he learned that it was his destiny to become the Flash's greatest villain, the Reverse Flash. Knuckleduster, of course, declines number 6 as he already has a disciple. Number 6 knows it's Koichi and points out that Koichi is an All Might fan, but Knuckle notes that's exactly why Koichi is his disciple, because overclock is no hero. Giving overclock to someone impersonating him makes number 6 the worst kind of villain who needs to be exterminated. Disappointed at being viewed as a villain, number 6 goes in for the attack to kill Knuckle, who had just missed his second shot at him, freezing time with his speed and declaring that once Knuckle is gone, he will be the real overclock. But in that same moment, number 6 is caught off guard by a recording being played at super high speed, a trap that was set by Knuckleduster. In the recording, Knuckleduster reveals that number 6 doesn't understand the true nature of his quirk, revealing that overclock actually stimulates the brain, speeding up the user's perception and thoughts relative to everything else, causing the physical world to slow down. But the degree to which the user speeds up isn't uniform, as it depends on what's going through their head. When overclock is activated to throw some punches, the user is most likely going 3 to 10 times faster than normal. But in a fight or flight emergency, the user will speed up a few dozen times over. When the user puts their mind to it, it can almost feel like the world around them freezes in place. But honing in on that focus isn't necessarily a good thing, as there is a limit to the acceleration. Take on too intense a task and the user will deprive their brain of oxygen. The faster they go, the bigger the brain drain, meaning when they are really on the edge and focused, they will run out the clock of their acceleration faster than normal. The examples Knuckle lays out that causes the oxygen to drain fast are when a rifle is being pointed at them, which is exactly what begins their fight, and when someone is trying real hard to listen to a recording being played at 300 times normal speed, which is exactly what this entire recording was set up to do. A trap to cause number 6 to drain their brain of oxygen in order to run through his acceleration. Hearing this, number 6 jumps back as time goes back to normal, and Knuckles, smiling, seeing his plan to drain number 6's acceleration had worked, pulls out a detonator, claiming that he won't let number 6 get the chance to catch his breath, and blows up the rooftop, sending them both into the building. Due to there being no floors, thanks to Knuckle blowing up the roof as well as 3 whole floors, number 6 won't be able to use his acceleration. Knuckle takes out a shotgun, forcing number 6 to protect his head, but Knuckles shoots him in the legs, so number 6 won't be able to land correctly, and further making it so he can't use his acceleration properly. When on the ground, Knuckles shoots more rounds into number 6 to shoot off his limbs, changing his priority from ending number 6 to taking in number 6 alive, as he wants to try and get more information out of number 6 about who is really running the villain factory. Knuckle takes out another detonator, letting number 6 know that there is no escape even if he were to use his acceleration, as the next explosion will bring down the building on top of them. Number 6 tries to use his speed again, but before he can go full acceleration, Knuckle kicks in and beats his face in, as giving number 6 a concussion is another way to seal off his use of overclock. Knuckle notices that the shotgun wounds he gave number 6 have already healed, meaning that number 6 has been modified to be able to regenerate. Knuckle ties up number 6 in order to get information out of him, but a mini bomber crawls from number 6's arm, and he tells Knuckle that he should have went for the head. Another My Hero Academia villain taking a cue from Thanos. The bomber blows up number 6's arm, sending Knuckle back, ending the episode. Now, this episode adapted 4 chapters, them being chapters 54, 55, 56, and the majority of 57. This was a fantastic episode, and I will say Knuckleduster versus number 6 is probably one of my favorite My Hero Academia fights out of the entire series, being up there with a lot of the fights from the mainline series. Let me know your thoughts on the 12th episode of My Hero Academia Vigilantes Season 2, with there only being one more episode left in the season. What are your thoughts? Let me know everything in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to smash that like button. And if you are new to the Kiroki channel, then be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any My Hero Academia Vigilantes Season 2 breakdowns. With that said, I'll see you all in the next one.